Om Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaram Ishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namam Yaham Aparokṣānubhūti Prochyate Moksha Siddhaye Saddhireva Prayatnena Vikshaniya Muhurmuhu Namah Shri Shankaracharya Srimatam Namostu Advaita Vedanta Sthapanostapa Murtaye. So now we can read the 38th shloka. In these shlokas, what we have been saying is the starking difference between, contrast between the body and the Atman is being brought out with lot of logic and with lot of Shruti Pramanam also. And now we are getting into one more type of Shruti Pramanam, which also brings out the distinction between the Jivatma and the body. Okay. Proktopi
karma kandena hyatma dehat vilakshanaha nityascha tatpalam bhungte deha patadanantaram. Proktaha is said, api even, karma kandena, in the karma kanda of the scriptures, he verily, atma, self, dehat, from the body, vilakshanaha, different, nityaha cha, eternal, and tatpalam, the fruits of action, bhungte, enjoys, deha patat, the demise of body, anantaram, after.
So here also there is a logic involved with the basis of the Shruti. So the Vedas prescribe a lot of karmas to be done for fulfilling one's own desires, and also karmas to be done as a mandatory requirement. So these are called Kama karma and Nitya karma. So whenever Kama karmas are there, the scheme of the Veda is the karma is performed at one juncture, one particular point of time, but then the fruit of that karma is enjoyed at a very, very different point of time. And the whole environment can change. That is, there are some kama karmas which will give fruit immediately or in this life itself. Like, for example, Putra Kameshti, and there is something called Kariri Ishti. That is, there is one yajna which has to be performed for the for rain. So such things will not wait for some other janma or some other loka. The intention of the person karta is to get the fruit here itself in this life itself. Whereas there are some karmas which will give the fruit as swarga. So swarga cannot be attained here in this life itself or in this world. So one will have to wait for the next birth or some other subsequent birth and some other different loka. So this is the way the karmas work in the Vedas. So here the shloka says, Proktopi karma kandena the atma dehat vilakshanaha. So he is making it plain that even the karma kanda teaches us that the body is different from the atma, or the atma is distinct from the body. Nityasya yat phalam bhungte deha patat anantaram. So this atma who is nitya is the one who is going to enjoy the fruits of the karma done through a body in this life. So the Atma is the one which continues in all bodies, and the Atma will keep getting body after body depending upon its karma. So, so actually that Atma is called Jivatma. Even though the Jivatma is having the Shuddha Atma as its basis, as long as ignorance continues, that Jivahood is there, which has come from Anadi because of Ajnana, and that will continue to remain till the jiva gets mukti. So here, the nityascha tat phalam bhungte, the karma phala is enjoyed by this jivatma, who is called atma here. Dehapatad Anantaram. So the Atma, as the Jivatma, performs karma through one body here, so through a certain body here, and the fruit of that karma is experienced by the Jivatma through some other body in some other loka at some other time. So the Kala, Desha, everything is different here and there. So that's what this shloka wants to convey. And through this shloka wants to say that the even let alone the Upanishads, even the Karmakanda of the Vedas teaches that the Atma is distinct from the body. So in the commentary, the Acharya Swami Vidyaranya says, Atha astamidam jnanakandam karmakandepi dehatmanor bhedaha eva nirnitaha ityaha. So, okay, we have seen many examples from the Upanishads, like Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the Purusha Suktam, which is from the Rig Veda and all that. We have seen so many cases there. But then even the Karmakanda teaches that the body is different from the Atma. Nirnitaha ityaha, proktaha iti. Hi yasmat karmakandenapi yavajjivam agnihotram juhuyad ityadi rupena karma pratipadakena vedabhagena ityartaha. So here in this Karmakanda, he is giving one Shrutivakya, Vedavakya, Yavajjivam Agnihotram Juhuyat. So this Shrutivakya says, this enjoins upon Jiva, upon a qualified or a right candidate to keep performing the actions enjoined upon him by the Veda as long as he lives. So there is no way the Jiva can remain quiet without doing karma. So he has to keep on doing karma till he dies. And this particular Vedavakya has been center for debate in the Shastras. The Purupakshi says that since this is a Vedavakya, there is no room for sannyasa at all in Shastra. So such discussions have occurred in the Upanishad Bhashyas, Bhagavad-pada's Bhashyas, and then the Vedanta says that this Vedavakya is meaning something different from what you are thinking. This Vedavakya simply says that a person who is not qualified for Atmajnana, who does not have the necessary Vairagya to initiate or pursue Shravana, Manana, Didhyasana, it is only for such persons this kind of Shrutivakya, this enjoining is there. It is not for those people who have got Vairagya and who are trying for Atmajnana and who have already got Atmajnana and who are living their life as Jivanmukti. So these things are, such discussions have happened. But then this sloka, this passage literally means that a person will have to keep doing the ordained karma or whatever karma he is willing to do or wants to do till death. So that is, at no time should he remain without doing karma. He will become brashta. Such things are implied here. Ityadi rupena karma pratipadakena. So this is the passage which very clearly establishes that there is karma to be performed. Veda bhagyena ityataha. That part of the Veda, that is the karma kanda of the Veda, very clearly makes such an enjoining. Atma deha vilakshanaha proktaha. So this Vedic part of the karma kanda clearly says that the Atma is quite contrast from the body, in contrast from the body. Katham ityataha. How is the contrast to be understood? Nityaha iti. Nityatvam cha kutaha ityataha taditi. So, tat phalam. So, dehapatad anantaram tat phalam anityam karma phalam yataha atma bhunkte ataha nityaha ityataha. So, this Acharya says here that a person performs karma now, and the karma will generate a punya or whatever result, papa or punya, whatever result, and that will have to be reaped or enjoyed by this jiva. This jivatma is permanent or is eternal, whereas the karma itself is anitya, because the karma is time bound. That is, the karma happens as an event in space time. And the fruit of the karma also is something which is generated, and that also will expire after it's being enjoyed or experienced in another time space frame. So here, that's why the karma is called anitya here, and the jiva or jivatma is called nitya. So Nitya Atma is the one who experiences the Anitya Phala of the karma through a different body. So this body through which the karma has been performed will perish at some point of time, and the karma phala will not perish. It will continue to be there in a nascent form. It is called adrushta or apurva in the Shastra, Mimamsa Shastra. So that will remain. So it is something very interesting to even think about it. So a person has physically performed karma now, and the karma is also over. But then he will have to the karma phala, the karma that generates the phala, where will that phala remain? So that's the question. And if in modern language, we can give a contrasting example like the karma phala cannot remain in some cloud. It cannot be stored in cloud. It will be stored in this jiva itself. And the jiva, that's why he has got this organ called antakaranam, and antakaranam is a part of sukshma shariram, and in the sukshma shariram, the karma, adrushta karma, that is the one which is yet to give fruit in the nascent form, it will be remaining as samskara and adrushta apurva. And when the sukshma sharira, that is called jiva per se, when it gets another body, sukshma stula sharira, and then only this karma will start giving effect. So, and that too depending upon what karma is destined for giving effect first. There is something called the first in, first out, and last in, first out, and all that in costing and all that. Such things happen here also. But we don't know which karma is destined to give which fruit, when, and all that. So that is all. That is why the Vedanta Shastra accepts the role of a Ishvara. So Ishvara is the one who knows all these things, whereas the Jiva is incapable of knowing which karma which he has performed in so many lives is going to give fruit and all that. It's completely, totally blank. He's completely gray area for the Jiva. Rarely some yogi might know this. But then that's why this region has been, this area has been, this domain is Ishvara's domain. Anyway, that's all little digression from this context of our discussion here. So, Dehapada Anantaram, Tat Phalam Anityam Karma Phalam Yataha Atma Bhunkte Ataha Nityaha Ityartaha. So, if the Anitya Karma Phala has to be experienced by someone, when the body is also anitya, so that someone who experiences this karma phala has to be nitya. So that is the logic here. Chakarat nyaya sankhyadau api evameva dehatmanoho bhedaha varnitaha iti darshitam. So here in this sloka, proktopi karmakandena hyatma dehat vilakshanaha nityascha tat phalam bhunkte dehapadad anantaram. So in that nityascha, there is a cha particle which takes so many meanings in Sanskrit. One meaning is that it is used for conjoining. It is used for conjoining two things, Ramascha, Lakshmanascha. So Rama and Lakshmana, that and is signified by this cha, or it can be etc. also. So here the cha implies that not just the karma kanda of the Veda, even the other schools of philosophy like Sankhya, Yoga, and all that, Nyaya, and all that, even they accept the distinction between the body and the Atma. So that's what the Acharya says here in this commentary. So, Proktopi karmakandena hyatma dehad vilakshanaha nityascha tat phalam bhunkte dehapatad anantaram. Ivaga next odi sloka.
Lingam chaneka sanyuktam chalam drishyam vikaricha avyapakam asadrupam tatkatam syat van puman ayam. Lingam, subtle body, cha, and aneka sanyuktam, made up of many parts, chalam, unstable, drishyam, an object of perception, vikari, subject to modification, cha, and avyapakam, limited, asadrupam, unreal, tat, that, katham, how, syat, be, puman, self, ayam, this.
So after hearing the commentary, the explanation for the earlier sloka, 38 sloka, there is a question which is taken up by the commentator to give a link between the earlier sloka and the next sloka, that is 39 sloka. So the 39 sloka literally means lingam cha aneka sanyuktam. Lingam is their sukshma shariram, is an assembly of so many parts. There are several components to the sukshma shariram. In the V.Subramanian and all that, it has been stated as 8 parts, containing of 8 distinct parts, and the further sub-components of those 8 parts are also stated there. For example, the Pancha Pranas are there. Then Prana Panchaka, the Indriya Panchaka will have 2 types, like Karmendriya Panchaka and the Jnanendriya Panchaka, and the Antakaranam, which will be divided into 4. That is Manas, Buddhi, Chittam, and Ahankara, and the Pancha Bhutas are also required for the next body and others. So these things are all components of the Linga Shariram, that is a Sukshma Shariram. So he says here in the shloka, Lingam cha aneka sayuktam. It's an assembly of so many parts, so many components, and it is chalam. It can move. It has movement. That's why prana has movement. Indriya has a movement. The manas also has movement according to Vedanta. The manas goes out of the body through the indriya to grasp something outside. That is a jnana. So these things are all accepted. Then drishyam, and it is something which is observed. It is the object. It is an object. That is the Sukshma Shariram is an object to the Sakshi, the Atman, the Jiva, to real Jivatma, Drishyam, and Vikaricha. The Sukshma Shariram is transforming also. It undergoes transformation also. And Avyapaka, it is limited. It is not all-pervading like the Atman. And Asadrupa, it is not existent at all really from this highest standpoint point of view. It is Mithya. It is not Sadrupam at all. Atman alone can be Sat in Vedanta. Everything apart from the Atman is Asat, that is Mithya. Tat Katham Syat Puman Ayam. So how can such Linga Shariram be the self, Atman? So that is the idea. So in the earlier shlokas, the focus was on the Stula Shariram, and of course sometimes in an allied manner the Sukshma Shariram also. But in this shloka it is completely on the Sukshma Shariram alone. So this shloka is fully dedicated for the nature of the Sukshma Shariram. So in the commentary, the Acharya raises the question, Nanu evam sati Vedantinam apasiddhantaha syad ityadaha lingamiti. So in the previous shloka, it was stated that not just the Karmakanda, even the other philosophies like Sankhya, Yoga, or Nyaya, they also make a distinction between the body and the Atman. So this question is based on that, because in the other philosophies, the Atman is not the same Atman that the Vedantins talk of. For them, the Atman is endowed with gunas and all that, and it is Saguna Atman only for them. Even though they say that the Atman is different from the Stula Shariram and Prakriti and all that, some of the Prakriti gunas they accept for the Atman itself. And that in all the schools, it is not that the Atman is all-pervading. Some schools accept the Atman as all-pervading, some schools as limited, Anuparimana and all that. And it is not Sakshi also for them. So early in Vedanta, the concept of Sakshi is there, and it is distinct from the Sukshma Shariram also. Whereas in their cases, some elements of the Sukshma Shariram will be in the Atman also. So that is why the Acharya raises this question. Nanu evam sati Vedantinam apasiddhantaha syat. You are claiming the Atma to be of a very, very distinct nature. Whereas you are now talking about the Jivatma, who will be experiencing the karma phala and all that in another body, another birth and all that. How is it that your Siddhanta is why is that you are making a contradiction? So that is the idea here. So that has to be settled. So the commentary continues. Lingam, Linga. So this shloka is there to answer that question. So that is the idea of the commentator. Lingam, Linga Shariram, Tat Parokṣādi Dharma Vishishtam. So here, Linga Shariram, Lingam cha Aneka Sayuktam, Chalam Drishyam Vikaricha, Avyapakam Asadrupam. Tat means that means that Parokṣādi Dharma Vishishtam. Such a Sukshma Sharira, such a subtle body, which is endowed with so many attributes, which has been listed in this shloka. So he is saying Parokṣādi Dharma Vishishtam. Paroksha is that it is not Pratyaksha like the Atma. So the Atma of the Vedantin alone is Pratyaksha. In the sense, it is immediately known. In the sense, it is immediately experienced. It is not that there is no need for a medium like mind or a indriya, like the instrument, like the sense organ or any organ to know the Atman, to experience the Atman. That is why the Atman is Suprakasha, and it doesn't need to be taught. Nobody needs to be taught that he is a sentient person and he is existent and all that. So there can be doubt about somebody else's existence and all that, something else's existence, but then about one's own existence, there is no doubt at all. It need not be taught at all. So that's the idea here. So, but then the Sukshma Shariram and the Sthula Shariram are completely of a distinct nature altogether. They have to be known. They have to be known through some instrument, some medium. Whereas here, in the case of the Atman, there is no need for any such medium to know the Atman. That's the idea. So that Parokṣādi Dharma Vishishtam, Adi Padena, all these things like Aneka Sanyuktatvam, Chalatvam, Drishyatvam, Vikaritvam, Avyapakatvam, Asadrupatvam, all that are included in that, etc. I am Nitya Aparoksha Swabhavaha. So he says very clearly, I am. So Katam Syat Puman Ayam. Ayam is a word used in Sanskrit for denoting something which is very, very close. And Tat is to denote something which is far away. So Ayam is very close. So that's why he says, I am Nitya Aparoksha Swabhavaha. This Atman, which is of eternal, or it is eternally Swaprakasha Swabhava, Aparoksha Swabhava, it is Aparoksha. Paroksha means immediate, whereas Aparoksha means immediate. So there is no medium required for knowing the Atman or for experiencing the Atman. Every one of us, even the animals and plants, everything will be experiencing the Atman. But then the Vedanta is required to teach that the Atman that we know and experience, no doubt, is not the right one. In the sense, it is something which is corrupt. That is because of the Ajnana, basic Ajnana, Mula Ajnana, everyone thinks that he is Atman, the pure consciousness, plus the body-mind complex and the attributes of the body-mind complex. So that is the mistake. And to set out or set right the mistake alone, this entire Vedanta is required. So that this has been stated by Bhagavad-pada in the Adhyasa Bhashyam so very well. And he ends that Adhyasa Bhashya with the declaration that all the Upanishads have the aim, sole aim of teaching the Jiva his true nature. And which is free of this Adhyasa, there is a superimposition. And the Brahma Sutras have come to expound on that. So that's how Bhagavad-pada begins his Sutra Bhashya. Here, I am Nitya Aparoksha Swabhavaha. So this Aparoksha Swabhavaha, it so nicely gels with the title of this text that we are now expounding, Aparokṣānubhūti. So I am Atma Nitya Aparoksha Swabhavaha, Puman Katam Syat Na Katanchi Nityataha. So how can this Sukshma Shariram how can this Sukshma Shariram ever claim to be the self, to be the Atma, which is Aparoksha, while the Sukshma Shariram is Paroksha, and it is so contrasted from the Aparoksha Atma. And the contrast is brought out in those words like Aneka Sanyuktatvam, Chalatvam, Drishyatvam, etc., etc. Chakarat Karana Shariramapi Nirakritam. So in this sloka, the Acharya says, by this word, this particle cha in the first line, last word, that cha says that it implies that the Karana Shariram, that is the avidya, that is the causal body, that also stands negated in this sloka. So the Sthula Shariram has been negated before itself. The Sukshma Shariram has been taken up and it is shown to be in contrast with the Atman, and it is negated. And the Karana Shariram also, which is the cause or the seed for the two Sharirams. That is why it's called Karana Shariram. Karana is cause. Why is it called causal body? There is a cause for the other two bodies, that is the subtle body and the gross body. So this, as long as this avidya, that is the Mula avidya, that is the Mula Karanam, remains in the Jiva, these two bodies will occur to him, come to him by default. We can't avoid that at all. So if he has, and when these two bodies are there, subtle Sukshma and Sthula Shariram, his samsara bhoga will continue. So for bhoga to happen, these two bodies are required. And in a contrary form, that is Vyatireka Mukhyana, if you have to say, when these two bodies are there, samsara bhoga will be there by default. That is why even for a Jivan Mukta, since these two bodies would not have perished in the literal sense, that Jivan Mukta will be experiencing, in the sense, the body-mind complex will be experiencing the karma, prarabdha karma phala, which is sukha or dukkha, as long as the body lives or remains. So these things are all implied by this chakara, that is the avidya, that also has been clearly distinguished and contrasted from the pure Atman. Anayorapi bhede tingadehasya vailakshanya suchakani visheshananyaha aneketi. So anayorapi bhede, so when there is distinction between the Sukshma Shariram and the Atman, lingadehasya vailakshanya suchakani visheshanani aha. The contrasting points, or the contrasting various phases of that contrast, then the Sukshma Sharira from the Atman, they are being listed out in this shloka, Visheshanani aha aneketi. Aneka sanyuktam deva manushyadi nana stula sharira sambandha yuktam. So this Sukshma Shariram, it remains for very short time without this Sthula Shariram. The Sukshma Shariram is always endowed with always connected, or it is always inseparably with the Sthula Shariram, but only during certain intervals, like for example, death. When death has occurred, till the next Sthula Sharira is taken up, the Sukshma Sharira will be without the Sthula Sharira. And also in Laya state, that is in the Srishti Sthiti Laya, when the Pralaya Kala also, there won't be Sthula Shariram. The Sukshma Shariram will be there along with all its karma and all that. And when the Srishti takes place next, the Jivas will come out with, the Sukshma Shariram will acquire a body according to its karma, and it will start experiencing the Sukha Dukkha Bhoga of the Samsara. So he says here, Aneka Sanyuktam. So he is, for the word Aneka Sanyuktam of the shloka, he gives two meanings. So first meaning is, he says that the Sukshma Sharira is one which gets connected with different types of bodies. And what are those different types of bodies? He gives a list here. Deva Manushyadi Nana Sthula Sharira Sambandha Yuktam. So Deva in the cosmos, in the Jiva category, there are so many categories, categories, and the Jivas are also categorized in 4 different ways, like Andaja, Shvedaja, Udbija, and Jarayuja. So this is one way of categorizing. So Jarayuja is the one where womb-born creatures, like a person, a human, for example, the fetus is grown in the womb of the mother. So there are so many animals also which have this kind of mechanism for bringing out, for reproducing, and that is one category. And Jarayuja. Jarayu is that womb. It's called Jarayu. Jarayu is that womb, or the sac. And then Shvedaja is one where the jivas which get bodies through in humidity and all that. That's why the example of lice, that is in Kannada, it's called heno. That is the one which thrives in hair, especially in the hair of the head. So they thrive because of some humidity there, and that is called Shvedaja. Then Udbija is one, the plant and some insects also, they come out from the ground. They break open the ground and come out. That's why we see during rainy seasons, many insects, they come out from the ground. They emerge from the ground, and the seeds also emerge from the ground to become plants. And that is one category. That is Udbija. And Andaja. Andaja is egg-born. So there are many creatures who lay eggs, and the reproduction is through eggs. So this is one category. And the jivas that come out of these categories are called either Deva, Manushya, And in Deva also there are a lot of categories like Gandharva, Yaksha, Kinnara, Siddhas and all that, Apsaras and all that. And there are other creatures like plants and animals and insects and all that, so many subcategories. So in the Puranas, it is stated that 84 lakh categories of species of jivas are there in the cosmos. So that is one thing. So the Sukshma Sharira gets connected with one or the other at any time. So this is the idea of the first interpretation. So the second interpretation we will take up in the next class. We will end up in the session here. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshkaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokana Karanam Tam Namamyaham Aparokṣānubhūti Prochate Moksha Siddhaye Sadbhireva Prayatnena Vikshaniya Muhurmuhu Vidyavini Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tatpajnam Vidushekara Bharati Om Tatsate.